Vivere raccontare, episode number 403. It is Tuesday, July 18, 10 o'clock. Vivere raccontare is a television program by Gioacchino, Onorati and Augusto Zucchi, and today with Professor Murat SOYGENIS, we are going to talk about his latest book, Visioning Architecture, The Sketches of Murat SOYGENIS. Good morning and welcome, Professor.
Good morning, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Why is hand sketching in visioning architecture important?
Yeah, let me just share my screen before I start. Hand sketching is vital in all phases of visioning architecture. It allows the designer to see, think, design, and put all initial ideas on paper over and over as one develops the design in multiple layers in the mind. The process of quick thinking and sketching is a result of brain, eye, and hand coordination. This quick process is an advantage of hand sketching, which allows one to experiment with many ideas and options in a short time on many layers of paper. I have here some examples of sketches and projects that we can look at to better see the role of hand sketching in visioning architecture. This slide shows the cover of the book with an initial design sketch on the front cover. This sketch is drawn very quickly, maybe in 10 or 15 seconds, to explain the roof form and section through a production facility. This sketch, on the other hand, is a design development sketch drawn in a few minutes for the same production facility. Just a second, there's a, well, yeah. This sketch, on the other hand, is a design development sketch drawn in a few minutes for the same production facility, showing the longitudinal facade of the building with relatively more detail, some colors, materials, and texture. After a few meetings with the client and studying how the design can be on many layers of sketching paper, this intermediate phase is reached.
And what are the roles of analog and digital design tools in your practice and teaching?
Hand sketching is always encouraged in all phases of design, from the early design phases until design development and detailing of the project in my practice and the school environment. Analog tools include physical architectural study models, 2D and 3D hand-drawn initial idea sketches and drawings. Digital tools, computers, and 3D printers are always there and encouraged to be used with all other analog tools. I strongly believe that analog and digital design and representation tools complement each other and are recommended highly to be utilized together. The new digital means offer new opportunities and ways of design thinking, which may not be achieved by analog means only. Nevertheless, new digital tools lack brain-eye hand coordination and the flexibility naturally found in sketching. I will share some analog and digital drawings used as design tools in our projects over the years. Here is a 3D hand-drawn axonometric perspective of a house on the Bosphorus. This is the same house, a hand-drawn sketch showing the wall configuration. A photograph of the same house after the completion of the construction shows the wall in the two previous slides. This is a pavilion in Mexico City, a computer-drawn axonometric perspective. The same pavilion is shown in a computer rendering. A design development hand sketch of an academic building and the photographs around it, showing the building when it's completed. This is a computer rendering showing steel and glass additions to a historic high school building on the Bosphorus. Computer rendering is added to a real photograph. Textile chemicals plant in Istanbul. The hand sketches are the study sketches during the design development phase. An aerial view computer rendering for the for a business park project in Africa, and more details of the same project.
The world faces challenges such as sustainability, global health, climate change, never-ending wars and conflicts, natural disaster, terrorism, unemployment, and refugee crisis. It is critical for architects and design professionals to involve in these challenges and seek answer in the resolution of these problems. And what are you doing as an architect and a professor in tackling any of these challenges?
Yes, it is obvious that the global challenges, as you listed, danger the quality and sustainability of our environment, man-made and natural. It is critical for architects, planners, and other design professionals to involve and support actions in creating a resilient future for our environment. In this slide, I have some challenges listed similar to yours. Just to emphasize it again, these challenges are never-ending wars, traffic management, coronavirus pandemic, economy, unemployment, urban sprawl and urban density, institutional racism, social unrest, natural disasters, climate change, etc. In my office, S+ Architecture, I am involved in a few social responsibility projects. One of them is a project we are in the process of developing. It is called a modular house. Modular house is a low-rise, low-cost residential project designed to provide minimal housing for the refugee population and permanent or temporary housing for disaster-prone areas such as earthquakes and floods. The project provides economically feasible housing units compatible with the living and cultural habits of its inhabitants and is planned to be located along refugee migration routes and disaster zones. This drawing shows groups of houses forming courtyards, and the courtyards are to be used for farming, sports activities, and for social functions like children's play areas and getting together with the neighbors. This shows life in a modular house community. Traffic roads is at the top, units below, and the courtyard for activities like farmers market, play areas, and sports activities. From the main road, looking towards one-story units and looking at two-story units. Growing House is a project that we developed after the Marmara earthquake in 1999. It is in a way similar to the modular house, but there are differences, of course. Modular house is a project that would be built by contractors, and this growing house project is based on the provision of sites and services, plus the construction materials by the government, and constructed by a self-built effort by the disaster victims based on the phased plans provided by the government. In this project, we again work with some municipalities. All phases of how the houses grow are shown here. The first phase is the provision of sites and services like water, sewage, heating, gas, and electricity. Then the construction starts with the future residents of the community. In the first phase, lower level living, dining, bathroom, and kitchen are constructed around the corner yard. Then a bedroom can be added if there's a need based on the size of the family. And it continues to grow with the addition of an upper level. The total capacity is 14 people on the 2 floors. This shows a cluster of houses around the courtyard and details of the houses. Devoid Sensation House is a project we designed for a competition organized by the RIBA journal. The theme of the competition was to design a model for multi-generational living. In Europe and in many Western countries, families live in separate houses. In some Eastern cultures, families of various generations live in the same living quarters. Urban land is expensive in all cities, and purchasing a large house is very costly. What we proposed in the competition was to add a self-sufficient pavilion to an existing house, which could house younger and older generations, allowing them to live side by side on the same lot, yet still have their privacy and at the same time benefit from being close to their family, children, parents, etc. Here are two of the pavilions placed next to an existing building. This one on the right is a family gathering pavilion where every generation gets together. The one on the left is a one-bedroom pavilion for the university-age student or a study space for whoever needs it. The pavilions can be used on top of each other as a two-story living space. In this particular case, on a site not attached to an existing building, it's an individual use. And these are the detailed plans and the 3D of the pavilion on the right. On the left is a pavilion used as an office or a small living space. In the center and to the right are the interiors of the unit with windows closed and windows open. This is a structural 3D and sections showing how the CNC cut C-shaped elements are coming together. This final slide shows a collage of photographs of some of the projects we visioned and worked on. Some are social responsibility projects. Some are a project for project's sake. Thank you, Paola PERRI, to you and to Gioacchino, Onorati, and Arachne TV for this interview. And many thanks to Chiara Cuscuna for the logistics of this session. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Professor, for this beautiful interview. And to all our viewers, see you soon on the next episode of Vivere e Raccontare.